Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Panzer Corps. This time with the fourth mission of the Grand Campaign 39. It's September 13th, 1939. Listen quickly, Air General. There's precious little time for talk. Aerial reconnaissance units have detected a large pocket of Polish troops massing in the Kutno region. These forces, under the command of General Kutseba, are advancing quickly in your direction. Surveillance reports have confirmed that the enemy will be attacking you in waves, and you must hold as many objectives as you are able. Should they break through the defensive line and regain control of the Bezura River, our forces advancing on Warsaw are in serious danger of being outflanked and cut off. Yeah, we'll see about that. Either way, let's actually go to the deployment screen this time and discuss what I'm gonna do in this mission. Okay, here in the Piatek scenario, actually with some commentary this time, for the first time, and that's great. I mean, not during the actual mission, but during the start, so I can actually talk about my unit composition, etc. a little bit. So, up till now, I've pretty much been following the unit composition that Bracket has been using. I would like to take whatever I can from Lieutenant Joker's one as well, but the problem is he's actually playing with a mod which allows him to get different units, such as the Storch recon plane and the Kratschützen earlier, and well, obviously I can't get those. So it's a bit harder to draw my troops from him, but I will see whatever I can, or I will take whatever I can from him as well. Especially here again during the beginning, I want to give my units regular replacements. Don't really care about those first few stars that much. But I still have my artillery fully upgraded. Again, they don't take that much damage, so I'm generally fine with those being over strength. I could say the same for my bombers, but not really necessary to overstrength those. Yeah, so like I said before, I do have this SE infantry, and I got Ola Deer, of course. Does it even say here? Yeah, just who this guy is, just or what the extra stats are, but I'll see what I'm gonna do with my SE units. Might actually sell the third one at least until I get tanks. I also have to see what they are doing with their SE units, especially with the tanks, because I actually have no clue what they do, and whether they deploy them every time, etc., etc., and so I need to check for that. But besides that, I think I'm actually doing pretty well, at least in maintaining the same core as they do. Now for this mission, besides these units, I am actually going to buy a tactical bomber besides of those that I have here. And I'm definitely going to deploy that this mission as well. And then probably in the next mission, I will be buying a fighter. I will have to see, because the next mission is going to be Modlin, if I'm not mistaken. And if I want to get a decisive victory in Modlin, I will need at least one strategic bomber. But yeah, I might buy that, even though that is not necessarily historical. I'm gonna have to see whether the Germans actually used strategic bombers like the Heinkel 111H2 in Poland. They probably did, but I'm just gonna use it for special occasions like there, and not really deploy it besides that, because I kind of need that if I want to get a decisive victory on Modlin, if that's even achievable with this core. Not really sure yet, because I haven't played with this kind of core yet. So yeah, like I said before, it's actually really interesting. I'm having a ton of fun doing this, so really like kudos for the idea of playing through the Grand Campaign this way. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about my strategy for this mission overall. We have the Bazura River and we have to defend that. Now, the idea for this map is that one thing that you can really exploit, or should exploit, is that when the enemy takes one of your key objectives, if that's the way to say it, one of the glowing objectives, the victory objectives. It's the victory objectives, I think. If they take one of the victory objectives, they are compelled to attack whatever unit is adjacent to it. And I believe they can choose themselves which unit, but if there's only one, they're going to be in trouble. So I want to use the trick of allowing the enemy to take a certain objective. They're forced to attack my well-entrenched or defended unit with artillery backup, take massive casualties, destroy that particular unit, take back the victory hex, and then repeat, basically. Just do that over and over and over again at various points where the enemy is going to attack, crush them, and this way secure the objectives and win a victory. That's basically the way I'm going to do this. So indeed, let them take the objectives, let them run into my defended positions with artillery support, take it back, and repeat. Pretty much going to do that all over the front. I know they will attack at certain places at different times. Not exactly sure anymore where or when they're going to attack, so I'm going to have to make that up on the fly. I know they won't attack everything at the same time. That would be pretty rough, but yeah, so I'm going to have to check that myself. There's, of course, also this artillery here, which might cause some issues. We'll see how to deal with that. I'll definitely deploy at least one fighter. I forgot whether the enemy employs an air force in this mission, but I think they do. I knew that they didn't deploy one in Lutz and in the South Danzig corridor, but I think from this mission they start actually getting fighters or bombers, one of the two again. So I'm actually going to have to use those as well, even though I really want to have those ground forces most of all. Those are really critical here. We do have a couple of reserve forces, which is nice. These guys are going to move up towards various locations. It's just 3 puck. It's just whatever. Yeah, so I'm ready to go here, start my deployment, and I'll meet you on the other side of this mission at turn 20. So please sit back and enjoy. Well, that was a pretty easy battle. Let's take a look at the battlefield. Yeah, actually, if you if you know what you're doing for this one, um, it's actually pretty easy. I think maybe the first time around, if you you're not yet familiar with the game, you might have a harder time. But even if you don't know where the enemies are coming from the start, if you have a good starting setup, which is remotely mobile, you can shift your forces from the north and get them in the east. And then basically you can use the tricks that I described in order to destroy a large number of Polish forces relatively quickly. The only trouble that you might get is retaking some of these hexes, like these bridges, because you're gonna have a turn where one of your units on the bridge, they do have artillery support, but that might be troublesome. Or if you get a turn where you cannot destroy the enemy unit because you get some bad rolls, for example, then you might also be in trouble. So if you, for example, were to not be able to destroy the unit that is here because they just took the city and just things went awry, then you might be in more trouble, because then the unit is going to start digging in, and you might need some extra firepower. So that's why being able to shift your units around is pretty nice. I did take a little bit of damage, mostly here, because I couldn't back up my tanks with the artillery, and made a couple mistakes here and there. I do have to say that indeed playing with these weaker panzers, it does make it so that you're going to get a bit more damage. Yeah, but I think overall things went fine. Was able to snag a couple of cities here and there, just getting out and just driving around with the auxiliary units, just for a little bit of extra prestige. So that was also pretty decent, and just backed me at least 100 extra prestige. I took these two, and then these two, and that one, so 125. So fairly pleased with that. That will allow me to buy a couple new units in the next one. I thought that was Matlin, but actually the next one is going to be the Campinaska Forest, of course. Yeah, I'll go to the briefing and see you there. An impressive and impenetrable defense, Herr General. The Polish assault has utterly failed to secure even a single crossing on the Bzura, and the remaining Polish troops are surrendering by the thousand. With this threat completely neutralized, the road to Warsaw is almost completely open to our forces. Well done.